October 11th, 2025. That night will stay with me forever. In just 30 minutes, I watched my crypto portfolio drop from $15,000 to $3,000. And it wasn't some small correction, it was a total meltdown. Exchanges glitched, people got liquidated left and right. And for a moment, I thought, that's it crypto, that's over. But that night changed how I look at crypto, investing, managing risks, forever. What's up guys, it's David and this is my first video on my English channel, Walk into Crypto, with real stories, real wins, mistakes, and from my crypto journey. Today I'll tell you exactly what happened and how I survived the biggest crypto crash in history and even made something out of it. And most importantly, the rules you must follow if you never want to lose everything again. Friday, October 10th. Just a normal day. Bitcoin hit a new all-time high 4 days earlier. Everyone was talking about alt season. X was full of people posting their predictions, influencers screaming, "This is the start of the next run, go buy some coins." A few coins like Zach had already pumped hard, so people really believed that alt season had started. Everything felt perfect, which is usually the most dangerous moments in crypto. A few days before the crash, I decided to rebuild my portfolio. Before that, I used to play around with some futures, but just the small trades. But at the time of the crash, I wasn't in any leverage positions. My entire portfolio was spot only, which honestly saved me that night. There's this Russian trader who goes by Pifagor Trade. A few days before the crash, he released a video showing his indicator, alts. It showed the true value of a coin, so you can see when something is cheap compared to this fair price, that's a good opportunity to buy. It made sense. So I bought the coins that were deep in the buy zone, $15,000. That was about the half of my deposit. My strategy was simple. I wasn't trying to get rich off alt season like many other players. I just wanted a realistic 100% gain, double my money, take out my initial investment, and keep the rest of the coins to grow over time. For me, it felt smart, calm, and well-planned. Part 2. The day it all started. And that morning, Bitcoin was around $122,000. Everything was calm, slow consolidation. By afternoon, it slipped to $118,000. I thought, okay, maybe just a small correction. I had some stuff to do. Work, met my girlfriend after classes, we walked around, got some coffee, and came home. Around 5:15 p.m., one of my Telegram crypto news bots posted a headline. Trump threatens big tariffs on China. The market reacted immediately, a quick 2-3% drop. I thought, alright, that's the short-term noise, we've seen worse. But I was wrong. Part 3. The night of the crash. Late evening, 10:54 p.m., another notification pops up. Trump officially imposes 100% tariffs on all Chinese imports. I instantly forwarded to my friend Alex. He was holding several long positions in BNB, LTC, and ZAC. He replied, "GG." 6 minutes later, I'm liquidated. His liquidation price was still pretty far away, so it didn't even make sense. I couldn't understand how it happened so fast. I remember that I opened my exchange and I swear I had never seen anything like that in my life. DOT was $1, Atom was 1 cent. All prices were minus 80, 70%, just like a bloodbath. My hands were shaking. It felt unreal, like it was a glitch or something. And I turned to my girlfriend to ask her for advice. Funny thing is, about 20 minutes before the crash, she'd actually asked me about crypto. I told her the story about the COVID crash, how the people who bought the dip later became millionaires and bought mansions in Miami. There are even whole neighborhoods there now, full of people who get rich during this crash, all from that just buying when everyone else was panicking. But in that moment, during this panic, I completely forgot about that. Still, somewhere deep down I knew, if I don't buy this dip, I'll regret it forever. Because prices were changing faster than I could even think. DOT was $1.5. Then 90 cents 5 seconds later. It was chaos. And I still had another 15,000 sitting on the exchange, unused. But when the market moved that fast, it's terrifying. You think, if I buy for 5 or 10 grand right now, in 5 seconds it might be worth 500. And then I decided, screw it, I'll risk it. Part 4. The decision. I placed a limit order for DOT at $1.03, $2,000, on Max Exchange. For a few seconds nothing happened, but then somehow it filled. A minute later, everything started bouncing back. It was insane. The whole market went vertical. I jumped into my Discord, my friends were panicking, some were completely wiped out. One of them, Bogdan, have managed to buy DOT a bit higher than me. We watched together as DOT climbed back $2, 2.5, $3. We didn't instantly recover everything. Not even close. We stayed up watching until around 4 a.m., completely drained, watching news, reading tweets on X, and then we told each other, let's just sleep. If the market's still alive, it will recover. I barely slept that night. I keep thinking, what if I had bought DOT for not for 2,000, but for 15? That would have been 45 grand. I couldn't stop replaying this thought in my head and laughing to the same time. Like, who even need LCs in after that, right? At 6 a.m., I checked the charts. Prices were down 20-30% from the pre-crash levels. I sold everything at break even. And honestly, the only reason I didn't lose money was because I caught DOT at $1.03. It felt like we had just survived the war. Part 5. Aftermath. Over the weekend, I barely touched the charts. My mind was exhausted. I re-entered a few positions at new levels, more carefully this time. Right now I'm about 10% up overall. Not huge, but at least it's stable. My friend Alex had a $5,000 portfolio. Before the crash, he went up about 700, but he had no free cash on the exchange to buy the dip like I did. When the prices went up, he tilted emotionally. He opened a $6,000 long on Zach with leverage, trying to make back what he missed. The market dumped again and he got liquidated. After that, he disappeared from Discord for a few days. Right now, he's down around 1,700 in total, including that liquidation. Another guy, Bogdan, on the other hand, bought DOT a bit higher than me and sold roughly at break-even. He's now just observing the market from the sidelines. Later that week, I read that over 2,000 people worldwide reportedly took their lives after this crash. I don't know if this number is perfectly accurate, but the pain behind it's real. That's when it hit me. This is not just numbers on a screen. It's people's life savings, dreams, futures, and that's why I decided to make this video. Part 6. The rules I learned. After that night, I sat down and wrote a list. Rules that I will never break again. They might sound simple, but every single one of them was paid for, with real money, stress, and sleepless nights. So here they are, my crypto surviving rules. Rule number 1. Never, ever trade altcoins with leverage. Look, I know you see some people on the internet making 10x overnight, and you might think, what if I use 3x leverage to catch the same move? And that's when everyone loses, because alts are unpredictable, they're illiquid, and when the market crashes, they will die immediately. It will be like boom, one candle, and you're done. So, yeah, if you believe in altcoin, just buy it on spot. That's it. If that's a good project, just hold it. If it will die, it will die anyway. But during this crash, people with 2x leverages were liquidated, completely wiped out of the market. I saw that. Rule number 2. Only trade Bitcoin with leverage, and only if you really know what you're doing. For Bitcoin is a bit different, and I get for Ethereum as well. Those are the only assets with enough liquidity to handle leverage safety sometimes. Even when Bitcoin drops 20%, that's a normal story. Rule number 3. Leverage is only for short-term speculations. Leverage is not an investment tool, it's a gambling chip. If you're holding a 3x long for a couple weeks, you're not investing, you're just waiting for your liquidation. Use leverage only when you see a clear short-term setup and you're okay with losing that amount. Otherwise, just stay on spot. You see, people think they're safe when their liquidation price is far away, but then they started adding to the positions, averaging it down, and doubling the risk. And that's how it starts, and that's how people blow up. The fourth rule sounds exactly like this. Always use isolated margin. Cross margin is like putting all your money in one wallet and give it to the casino. If one trade goes bad, your entire portfolio goes with it. With isolated margin, at least you can control the damage. You say, I'm risking exactly $100 on this setup. I believe it works, but if it fails, fine, you lose $100, not your whole portfolio. That's the mindset you need. and don't ever put more margin into a losing trade. Rule number 5, always be ready for your liquidation. Even if your liquidation price is still pretty far away, all it really takes is one unexpected event. Maybe it's a war, maybe it's regulations, or even exchanges glitches, and it's all gone. If you trade futures, you must always assume you could be liquidated. Because when it happens, it's instant. If you're not mentally strong for this, just stay on spot. And even a spot, remember, that altcoin can drop 90%, and this is basically a soft liquidation. The difference is only psychological. Rule number 6, altcoins are for spot only. This is one of the biggest lessons we had from that night, and if you really want to play this altcoin game, play it safe. Buy them on spot, don't short them, and don't long them, and don't try to catch the bottom. Alt season is a lottery. Everyone dreams about the next alt season. I used to as well. But after this crash, I realized that alt season only happens when the big players allow it to. And right now, they already made millions, billions from these liquidations. And why would they give you another chance to win? So stop waiting for the alt season. If it comes, that's great. But if it doesn't, you won't be holding it back and just alt season, not a plan. Alt season, it's a lottery ticket. Rule 8, accumulate Bitcoin. Not at any price, of course, but this one took me years to understand. First, when I started in crypto, I bought Bitcoin just to sell it later, to rotate into altcoins. But that's the trap, because Bitcoin is a real asset. And I've met people with huge amount of capital who buy Bitcoin and only hold Bitcoin. No trading, no leverage, just accumulating. And you know what? They're the calmest people I've ever seen. So yeah, buy Bitcoins consistently, small amounts, and your $100 today will lose its value after some time, yeah? But in Bitcoin, at least it has the chance to grow. And use that chance. Greed creates poverty. This is probably the most painful one. Greed makes you breaking every other rule. It whispers, you can make more, you just need to go bigger, bigger and bigger, and that's how you lose it all. I've seen people trade perfectly for months and then destroy everything with one night because they wanted to win more. Better to earn small but steady profits than everything crashing at a big score. Remember, crypto is not a marathon. It's a long-term game to survive. That's probably the most interesting one. Crypto is worse than a casino. And I'm not even exaggerating, because the real casino owners say that crypto is more dangerous. In casino, at least the odds are visible. And in crypto, it's hidden, because the house always wins. The exchanges, they manipulate, they liquidate and freeze your trades, and they profit when you lose. And in casino, at least you have like a beautiful atmosphere and maybe some drinks. In trades, you only have a liquidational email. Rule number 11, don't trust everyone. Not me, not influencers, not some guys on X who be tweeting like every 2 hours. No, the only people who know the real moves are insiders, not insiders, are the guys who not be tweeting, maybe sitting in maybe their offices, and they won't posting any charts on X. So if someone shows you sure things just get along you this 100% trade, no, that's no sure things. We're getting to the end of our list, and the next rule is exchanges are not your friends. Like Michael Jackson said, they don't really care about us. And they froze your trading balances, delayed orders, shut down APIs, and they blame it on volatility and other things. They don't care if you lose. They don't care. To them, just you just a volume. Don't ever trust them. And the last rule we have: build your own system and never break your rules. At the end of the day, your system, your discipline is what saves you. And you can control the market, but you can control your risk, yourself, your emotions, and that's where you need a system. You need a plan where you can enter the trade, when you can exit, and what invalidates your idea. That's the most important. Maybe in short term, you can make some money, but for long term distance, you need consistency because consistency beat lucky over time. And that's the end of our list. Guys, that night could have destroyed me, but instead, it woke me up. I realized that in this market, you don't need to win every time, you just have to survive. So, if you lost money that day, I understand you, I feel you. So, try to turn this pain into knowledge and be better, and you won't look at trading the same way ever again. If this video somehow helped you or it was interesting, try to support me and hit like and subscribe to my channel. I will be uploading a lot of new interesting materials, so we'll see you in the next video. And remember, first, don't let greed control your hands. Don't break your own rules, and never forget what happened on October 11th, 2025. Bye bye.